So what is going on, everybody? Today we're going to be talking about everything that's been going on in the Division 2. This is episode 2. You guys know we started a weekly series. Sorry, this was supposed to come out on Saturday. I know it is 2 days late, but I actually been testing out the PTS. I've been playing on it on PC and testing out the new brand sets, the new gear sets, the new weapons, trying to get a feel for all of it because it's a lot of information to take in. So I did want to test it out, see what I thought, and then I'll also tell you guys the ones that I think need some kind of tweaks and what I think and the ones I actually like. And if you guys haven't seen those videos, I do have a video for each one of them, my initial thoughts on the main channel. So I'll put a link to that in the description. So let's talk about so far what's been going on. So first things first is Manhunt is almost over. So if you guys are looking at the last double XP you can get from season 8, well, you have till Tuesday. And you remember, you can get 10.5 million for this 1 day. I guess it's 1 day left, right? Because it was one whole week, but there's 1 day left on it. So if you guys haven't got that extra double XP up to 10.5 million, you guys can take advantage of that. I highly recommend, especially if you're new, returning, and trying to get those gear sets, just get items and level up your Shade Watch. Also, there is a new global event. The global event starts Tuesday, so if you are looking to get any name gear, any exotics, this is a perfect time for you guys to do that. I always say global events is the best time to get exotics. If you don't have them, you're more likely than not to get some of those exotics that you haven't gotten, and that's where I've gotten a lot of my exotics when I didn't have them, or when I started like a new count on like a different system. So that will be starting on Tuesday, and that will run one full week. So make sure you guys take advantage of that. Also, PTS 2, as I explained, started, I think it was what, Friday? I think it started Friday. So I've been playing, no, it started Thursday, I believe. Thursday, so I've been playing Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I've been testing out the brand sets, the gear sets, the exotics, what I like, what I don't like. And there was a lot of things I did like, and there was a couple things that I honestly didn't like. So we'll actually talk about that right now. So let's talk about the ones that really stood out to me and the ones that I think need to have some work. So first we have the exotic SVD, which is the Dread Addict. And the biggest issue I had with this was the recoil. I even made a build with braced. I even added up some more weapon handling, and at 68% weapon handling, I was still struggling a little. And I definitely think controller players might struggle with this because you do have to be scoped in the whole time. It's not like some of the SVDs where you could put a scope that you don't have to scope in. This one, you're scoped in the whole time. So it definitely, you can feel that recoil. And since SVDs, typically you like to fast fire them, I just feel like the one bad thing about this is that I might, like most guys who like snipers, they might just go to a Mantis or the Nemesis that can one-shot everything if this one's so hard to control. So the one good thing about it is the armor that you get back. So you get some kind of survivability, which I thought was actually pretty cool. It's definitely a really cool sniper. A lot of people are saying that it's underperforming, but I just told you, the one thing that I saw really stood out to me was the recoil. And I think tweaking it back a little, maybe that way I don't have to wear the brace chest piece, and I could put something that allows me to get more damage. Well, we'll see what they do. The Kingbreaker AR is very slow, and at first I thought maybe it was just me, but I looked around and a lot of people are saying this one is actually underperforming. I think multiple people actually confirmed that it sits in the lower bottom half of ARs when you put them all together DPS wise, because the damage plus the rate of fire just don't match up. So I'm not 100% sure this is the final version that we're gonna get, but we'll see what they end up doing. This does come with the talent Perfect Flatline, which gives you 20% pulse to enemies. So that's actually pretty good, right? So hopefully we'll see what they do. I would like to see them bump up the rate of fire a little bit more, and I think it should level out, but we'll see. The blue screen LMG, I think, should receive a buff from 5 seconds to 10 seconds on that status effect duration. Now, the reason why I say this is because I feel like the 5 seconds goes by so quick. And at first I was like, okay, well, maybe it's because I didn't have a skill build, so I tried an all yellow build, I tried an Eclipse build, I tried a lot of different builds, and it just, those 5 seconds never increased. So the 5 seconds is actually capped. Now, I don't know if that's because this is a PTS and this will change, or the cap is meant to stay there. So that's the one thing that I would like to see. If it is like that, and it doesn't matter what kind of yellows you put on, status effects, status durations, any of that, if they can add 5 seconds to 10 seconds, I think it would actually be more worth it. We'll see what they do. And then remember, I'm saying this for PvE. For PvP, you might have to leave it 5 seconds, or it might be a little OP. But for PvE, I think obviously from 5 seconds to 10 seconds would be good. Now, the Dare named LMG, which is the new G9 LMG, holy, this one is my favorite. 200 rounds, 750 RPM, and it hits. So that's what I like about it. It depending on how many reds, how many blues you have, you can even hit harder. So this one actually performs really well. I like this one. This is out of all the weapons that we get from Season 9 at the moment, the Dare LMG is my favorite, and probably the one, if I'm gonna go with the LMG build, I'll probably build around it. I like it. I definitely wanna test it against some of the other LMGs in the game once I have full build set up, spec'd all the way out, and see how this one performs. But being at a 750 RPM with 200 rounds, it's definitely one of the funner ones to use, hands down. The exotic mask is also really good. I think it definitely works better with the more armor you have on builds, the better it's going to be, right? The bigger the armor, the bigger that 5% chunk of your heal is when it drops, and that's why it performs better with tankier builds. Now, if you run all red build, then you only have a little bit of armor, you only get 5% of that. So it's not as much as if you have like a 1.5, 1.7 million, 2 million build, you know, it's gonna perform a lot different. Now, the new gear set is a lot of fun. I'm having fun with it. I think this gives AR and LMG players something to compete with those Hunter Furies SMG shotgun builds. Because I felt like Hunter's Furies SMG shotguns, people love it. That's like the go-to for SMGs. But ARs and LMGs didn't have that, and I feel like this is our version of Hunter's Fury, but on a different level. And I feel like if you guys like Hunter's Fury for SMGs, but you wanted something for ARs, LMGs, well, this is going to be the build for you. Some people say it's too powerful, some people say it's just right. I guess we just have to see what the full consensus on it is that needs to happen. I actually like it as is. Now, it might be, I haven't been able to try it on PvP, so I don't want to voice for PvP. This is for PvE, so PvP side. Everybody who's testing for the PvP side, you guys got to give your opinion on that and definitely let them know. Now, the brand set is nothing special, and I've had this with a lot of brand sets. I think there's only the skill brand set that gives you 10% skill efficiency with the 3-piece. That is the only set that I actually like running 3 pieces of a brand set. All the other brand sets, including this one that gives you 10% hazard protection, I can actually stack enough hazard protection on my other pieces, have better pieces, and like, so I really feel like a lot of the brand sets, the 3-piece, you're not enticed to use it, right? You're like, I'm not gonna waste a 3-piece on this. I'll just run the 2-piece if I want the 10% armor or kill, but besides that, no. So that's the one thing I will say that I feel 3-piece brand sets, they're just not worth it at the moment, like hardly any of them, except you guys do know I like the skill efficiency one. So when I do run a skill build, I definitely run that one, but besides that. Now, the devs did talk about the PTS and why it's not on console, so we're gonna talk about that a little bit. It talks about the console certification process. To deploy updates on console, we need to go through a process called certification. Certification is when an update is thoroughly tested and must match a list of requirements to guarantee a high-quality gameplay experience. This, of course, takes time to ensure that the PTS fits all those requirements. Due to the nature of the PTS, updates deployed can be partially unstable, do not represent the quality of the game. This might add time in the overall certification process, eventually slowing down bug fixing and implementing the community requested features. So that is the biggest issue with PTS. It's always been like this. There's a certification process, and on PC they even say it, since PC builds do not have to go through a certification process, this allows us to react to the community feedback swiftly and deploy updates faster and more efficiently. Unfortunately, on console it would take twice as much to release PTS updates as regularly and quickly as we usually do on PC builds. So that's just something for you to really keep in mind when you think about this. And I already knew about this, they talked about this in the past, and I already know Sony has a pretty hard one, Microsoft has a pretty hard one. So when they do these PTSs, especially when they do it on their own platform like Ubisoft Connect, and you download the game, remember that's their platform, so they can constantly, and these PTSs, like they say, are pretty buggy. A lot of times there's multiple things going wrong. It doesn't hit that high quality gaming experience. So Sony, Microsoft, they have a standard, and it just takes twice as long for them to go through that process. And that's the biggest thing with it. For them to do this twice as long, and that would just push our updates a lot longer. So for all of you guys who are wondering about that, well, that is the reason why they don't have PTS on console and they only have it on PC. Now, many of you guys do ask constantly on when the release date. We don't have an official release date. The only thing I can tell you is one dev kind of hinted on June 6th, and it was all a hint, right? So I'm thinking that's a placeholder. You look at when the season ends, when that date lines up, and that lines up one day after the season, 1 week after the season ends, and that could be pretty much when we get the new title update 15. Remember, that could just all be a placeholder. Heartland is rumored to be hosting a playtest soon, so it looks like everything's on track with that, and I just can't wait till they finally give us the official announcement on that one. I think a lot of PvP players will slowly gravitate to that versus the Division 2, and Division 2 will slowly gravitate to more PvE, even though a lot of us enjoy the PvP on Division 2, hate, love it, whatever you want to say. But I think most of the hardcore PvP players will slowly gravitate to Heartland, and that's where they'll get their PvP fix. Now, that's pretty much it. That's gonna wrap up this week. Hopefully next Saturday, I'll have an update on Saturday and not on Monday. Sorry about the late, but hopefully I can keep these every Saturday. But this is episode 2. You guys seem to like the other one. Make sure if you guys do enjoy this, find this information useful, always leave a thumbs up. And if you wanna see more, subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next one. But until then, hey, nothing but skills out. Take it easy, everybody.